just to say thank you all for coming along. It's a magnificent turnout. And we're okay, Michael? We're good? Yeah, good. You know, the entries were fantastic. Yeah, we got a bundle of them in. It was really hard work for these two, and we'll be going through more of that in a little while as well. We'll be, making note of their sponsors and everything else throughout the night. So it's not about me, it's about our final 40, and it's about these two who picked it. So, Tony Hewitt and Christian Fletcher.
Thanks, Ben.
There we go.
How much am I bid for Christian? 50 cents.
Comes with a share.
Don't forget to hand the mic on, otherwise, no.
Thanks, Ben. So this feels really weird, but anyway, thank you. Just went up to $500. There you go. Ben, thanks for that. And on behalf of Christian and I, thank you to you guys for showing up, because we'd look silly standing up here in the light by ourselves, wouldn't we? A couple of shop models or mannequins at an old geriatrics sort of clothes shop or something like that. Okay, we're going to get into this. 453 images, I think there was, something like that. Was that right, Ben? So what you see downstairs represents roughly 10% or just under 10%. So if you're in the room downstairs as a print, give yourselves a clap. We should applaud those people, because that's an amazing effort. And some people wonder, how do we come to that result? There's no darts involved. It's not like that. What we do, Ben sends us through with some technical challenges at times, a folder with all of the entries, and in our own time and our own space, we just go through, and Christian and I rank the images from 1 to 5. And then once we've done that, we send them back, and Ben will collate that ranking. And to make the top 40, you've got to be in that top 40 that have the highest combined rankings. So if your image hasn't made it downstairs, it could have got a 4-star from me and a 4-star from Christian, but just didn't make the top. So it's still seen as a great image. So as I said, fantastic effort to be down there. From my perspective, I love this competition. It's a privilege and an honour to judge anybody's work, but to be involved in something that started as an argument between a few of us around a Chinese restaurant and a shopping trolley, and goes on to this day as to what it really stands for. I just think it's fantastic, and I think what we see down there is evidence of a genre that's been heavily supported in this particular country, particularly in Perth, and some incredible photographers who shoot this stuff in this room, and we get the privilege to look at it and judge it. But I'll let Christian say a few things anyway. He loves talking.
Oh. Thank you, Tony. No, I've had a bad week. I've had the worst haircut I've ever had in my life. And I put my fantastic shirt that I designed myself, and no one's actually mentioned it. So thank you, everybody.
I did go like this to sort of...
Yeah. But other than that, it's been a great week. Tony's right. I mean, this competition is something that we both love. Ben loves this style as well. I think there's nothing better than going out and trying to find an image from a fairly banal, insignificant scene. It's like Perth it has so much to offer. I mean, I've just been driving around today just looking for photos myself, and there's stuff out there. We just got to get past the idea that we need to go to Iceland or Dunsborough to get great photos. You don't need to come to Dunsborough, I tell you. They've all been taken, haven't they, Tony? So yeah, look, we've had a really hard time, and if you aren't in the top 40, that's not my fault. I voted for you, but these other guys didn't. So I have nothing to do with anything that. So if you're disappointed, please, it's not my fault. Absolutely. But we had a really difficult time picking the winners from this. In fact, this is the hardest we've ever had it, because normally it's quite clear who the winner is. And look, there was definitely a lot of clear winners, but we had to nail it down to 3 and one special category. So yeah, it was difficult. so there was so many more that probably deserve it, and you will all have your own favourites, and you may or may not agree with what we see. But what we are trying to look for is things that relate to the genre that we're looking for, so the urban landscape, and also taking it to the next level, something that is a little bit different to what we've seen each year, maybe, or is introducing something else, something a little bit special. So, yeah, that's what we were looking for. So hopefully that'll come across with when you see what we decided on.
I like your shirt. And his haircut's right, isn't it, ladies? I should get a haircut. The other thing was the other thing that Fletcher and I also every year try to recognise it. Sometimes there's an image or two, or you always see this element within the entries that represents almost where we started with it. So what I love is that we're seeing some really new breaking ground stuff, taking it to another level, taking this genre into new areas. But there always seem to be some good images that just represent that starting point. And that's what makes it difficult, I think. They're not all different, but they're all incredibly unique. So I think they've not come here to listen to us, although somebody said no one comes for the pictures, they come for our crap. But we're here to, and really what we're doing is, I think from this point, what we'd both like you to take away is, it's not us making judgment, it's us giving you comments based on how we see it. And it's just our opinions. Each of you will have your own, but we're going to give you comments on what we saw, what was strong for us, what resonated with us, perhaps the areas we felt that could have improved it from our perspective. And hopefully that gives each and every one of you something to take away, just to take your own photography to another level. Because I know looking at this and listening to Christian, I'm learning. So, and by the way, mate, you didn't pick all the winners. No. All right? Because I know you only picked 1 5-star. The rest you didn't give 5 stars to.
No.
Moving on. Okay, let's have a look at the first picture. Here we go.
Oh.
I'll let you start.
Yeah, well, about 31 years ago, I walked into a photography lab, Custom Colour, I think it was called back then. I'm not sure if anyone remembers it, but there was a black and white photo in there, and it was the starting point in my career when I was looking at getting into photography, and I saw this black and white print, and I thought, wow, how come that has such, what's this quality that I'm seeing in this photo? And it really made me feel something, and I got the same feeling when I looked at this one. I saw it obviously first on the screen, on the computer screen, and then I saw it downstairs, and it was even better in print. And I love this image because it made me feel like when I started photography way back when. It's got a, sort of a, it's probably that shed is probably the same vintage as me, so that's probably why I feel so nostalgic about it. But more than that, it's about the composition for me. It's about the tyres and the lamppost there, the shadow of the lamppost coming down. It's just all perfectly lined up, and it just has something that really struck a chord with me. So I thought that was a beautiful capture, really well seen.
Ben, did we always say whose is it when we do this, or do we? Whose is it? Well done, Chad. God, it's not him making me look bad, it's you. All right, next print. The simplicity of this is probably the reason it made it into the top 40. Again, it's not black and white, but at the same time, it almost lends itself to those sort of sensibilities. I love the fact that, and we both really commented on the fact that the black was a solid black. Often these days we tend to have these rules put on us, where's the shadow detail, etc. I just love the fact that looking at it down there, it is pretty much solid, and that means we've got these two halves to the picture, one that's got incredible detail and one is purely about mystery. It's not telling us anything. The blue, that third colour, if you like, giving black and white its own title. For me, the blue just offsets it and balances out all the shapes that we see there quite cleverly. And the other thing that really kind of tied it together for me was the blue of the sky. Just echoes that blue light on the alarm. So congratulations to being in the final. Beth, well done.
Way back in, sorry, I don't want to kick your glass. You shouldn't be drinking anyway, Tony. This, back in 2011, we were up in the Pilbara doing the Pilbara project, and Tony took a photo of the world, probably not the world, but definitely in Western Australia, had taken a photograph that looked like a Jeffrey Smart painting. And at that time, we were doing this project for Form, and Linda Dorrington said, oh, I love that photo, Tony. It looks like a Jeffrey Smart painting. And I was like, who's Jeffrey Smart? So I looked him up and I went, oh my God, this guy's awesome. He's dead now, so he's not so awesome. he was back in the day. And so that he has all these scenes with, signs and arrows and witches' hats and workmen and all this sort of stuff. And that was like something that I really took to. This image for me was beautiful, and that it has all those elements of a Jeffrey Smart painting, and I like the way it's treated as well. If you get all that shadow detail and you lighten that up, but don't take it out so that it's flat, but you create this illustrative sort of look, and that's what this has. It's got all the other elements of arrows going in, the arrows coming out, and it's just, if you looked at it yourself downstairs, it's really pleasing. It's very soft and pastel. I love that. Whose was that?
Liz Barker. Well done, Liz. Who shot that? So just as we go through, we're going to introduce you to the sponsors again. Phase One, I'm an ambassador with Phase One, have been for a long time, and I shoot Phase One at the moment and have done for a long time. But fantastic camera system, high resolution. Obviously not everybody's cup of tea and not everyone can get there, but it's an aspirational piece of equipment. Their dedication to technical excellence, to detail, and to be able to produce files at the highest quality is the reason I use Phase One. I believe part of the first prize is 1 week with a Phase One camera, and Ben was sort of alluding to the fact that it's a little unfair because a bit like a puppy dog sale, isn't it? They give you this cute puppy for a week and then they come and want to take it back. But that's marketing for you. But this is, to me, it is the best camera system in the world for what I do and for what a lot of other people do, where they're looking for the highest level of detail and file excellence. So we thank Phase One immensely for being with us. And Christian, you've shot plenty on Phase One as well.
I love my face. I did love it. I feel like
This one was a pretty quick one for me to jump into the top 40. Such a fantastic use of repetition, beautiful use of the tonal range. I love the little splash of blue just to offset it, because without it would become almost a little bit mundane or too repetitive. And that little offset at the bottom in the blue almost gives it a full stop, but in a soft way. Often with soft images and have a dark corner, the dark or the heaviness of a black stop is a bit harsh. I just love that soft pause at the end with the blue. It keeps you guessing as to what perspective you're actually looking through or what you're seeing. And each time you look at it, it's almost like an Escher where it just keeps changing its shape and its form in front of you. So the dimensionality and the, as I said, the graphic nature of this and the way it's been beautifully captured and so precisely presented to us almost made it a standout, and it was one that we both loved and ended up in the top 40. So congratulations to Chris Saunders. There you go. There's some talent down there, mate. I can't wait to see the rest of these. Another image that kind of jumped off the page for both of us. I particularly like this because, again, it was reminiscent of an image where this genre started, where it's not the obvious shot. They stop on the side of the road and then the lights go out and it comes back. And you have to think on your feet. So, there's so many places we go where we're waiting to find a shot. And this genre particularly lends itself to the fact that the lights will disappear and you'll be standing on a sand dune. So in 1,000 years, that space with the telegraph poles will have deteriorated to look like this. Everything will break down. But, you think of the times, Christian, when we were on the road and we'd be driving, whether it's with the ND5 boys or you and I in the US, and we're looking for something, but we've gone deliberately to look for the things everyone else is going to miss. What is it, this is a crazy question, but what is it you're looking for when you're looking for things that nobody else will find?
I don't know.
And if you did know?
I'd ask you.
So this, for me, in its first instance was, yep, there it is. It's the side of the road, the telegraph poles. We've all been driving down a road and seen that long shot. But then what really made it stand out for me was bringing in those other levels of narration, the water, the raindrops. Are we looking through a windscreen? Well, maybe we are, or maybe it's a layer that's been applied to give us that effect. I really don't care. The technical quality, if you go down and have a look at the print, I thought was excellent. And I love the almost obvious mood that's been portrayed through such a mundane colour. It's quite a flat colour. I don't mean the image is flat, but it's a flat colour. And what could easily become quite muddy is not. It's very clean in terms of its dark tones, and the composition is very strong. And I just enjoyed the layers of narrative that were applied to us, that this is a boring place at a boring time in difficult conditions and flat light, and somebody made a great composition. So congratulations to Carl Monaghan. Well done, Carl.